from childhood to murdering people in your back door. Welcome to the Triple Take. I'm Manny.
I don't do those things. I'm Frank.
Back door. I'm Joseph.
Joseph knows a lot about the back door.
Trust the movie.
Why you saying what I thought, bro?
It's second nature.
And today on the Triple Take, we will be talking about our childhood icons turned into horror icons. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, obviously critical success.
Critical success is crazy.
You can't call it. How is it not?
for
Okay,
how small it was, yes.
Whoa. First off, it's not necessarily just about these franchises just simply being horror or horror content, right? Because a lot of old school classic domains, such as Mickey Mouse, Disney characters, and Winnie the Pooh, that whole Christopher Robin spiel, have entered public domain, right? So literally anyone could do more so what they want with it. Now, in terms of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, I wouldn't call it a critical success.
Okay, so now the argument begins. The argument begins. Why is it not a critical success?
I would phrase it as a cult classic / cultural phenomenon, opposed to it being a critically acclaimed success. Why? Because no one took me to the movie theater to go watch it.
Well, that is 100% my fault. The
reason
reason
why
I
he
say
says
critical success, and this is me justifying it, is because that budget to make that movie was like about, let's just say $100K. Might have been less. It was less, guaranteed. And they made more than $1 million.
I was about to say, bro.
Opening night, critical success. Brother, they rolled the dice. They got a 20. Critical success.
Brother, I'm gonna need you to wipe that booger off your mustache and get, lock in, buddy.
I'm locked in.
What do you mean financial success? Or, the movie was just great?
The movie was great. What was wrong with it?
It wasn't a good movie. Stop. You can't even say it without laughing.
First off,
look at the camera and say it was the most amazing movie you've ever seen in your life.
Well, that would be a lie. It's not the most
Okay,
amazing
that's what you're making it sound like.
But I will say this: Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. If you haven't watched
Winnie the Pooh, yep.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. If you haven't watched it, I'd recommend you do watch it because it is a fun, great, amazing comedy.
Anyway.
I disagree. I disagree.
Anyway, I mean,
And
I was
comedy
entertained
horror's on the
watching it.
up.
I was
Yeah,
entertained
because
watching
horror by
it.
itself is a terrible movie in terms of
Anyway.
actually good movies.
Okay, Frank.
I'm just saying, the acting is
It
terrible.
was entertaining. I just wish the movie was a little more violent, more brutal. It wasn't as brutal as I needed it to be.
Yeah,
He shoved a lady inside of a wood.
No spoilers.
Yeah,
Sorry, a meat grinder.
but you just
want
see
people
the
to watch it,
aftermath.
you're spoiling the movie.
I don't know. I just wanted something more out of it, I guess.
You
I
just
got
wanted
no-
something more. Hey,
You
what
can't
can
say you
you
don't
do?
like violence.
What can you do with less than 100K? You know what I'm saying? You look at movies. I'm going to compare this to the grand stage movies. If this movie had the budget of an Avengers Infinity War, boy, I promise you,
These types
top
of
10.
movies should not have that budget.
top 10 movie of all time.
They shouldn't have that budget.
I want it in 40X.
That is possible.
I want to feel that wood
But-
chipper go. I'm funny.
With the success of Winnie the Pooh, we've spawned in a new Pooniverse.
You stupid.
What is
And
mine?
this verse is now, it's taken up the levels because now we have Bambi is coming out, Bambi the Reckoning. We have Peter Pan, Neverland Nightmare.
These movies, I feel like, are gonna be more close to the realistic stories that they came from.
Well, that's where they take most of their ideas from, is those
I'm not gonna lie,
conspiracy theories, I think.
bro. Neverland is gonna be very disturbing.
Yes. So those movies are in place. We already seen we got Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 because it was that good that we needed a sequel. So, why is that? What's the eyebrow for?
As you're It was that good.
It was that good. It had to have a sequel.
It was that good.
Either way, we're going to get Sleeping Beauty. We're going to get a horror movie about that. We're going to get a Snow White movies about Mickey Mouse, thus leading to the amazing event that's better than the Avengers coming together. We're going to get Monsters Assembled with Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, Peter Pan, Pinocchio, and Bambi with Sleeping Beauty all together in one movie as horror icons.
I think the best part of this is really, like how Joseph said, is the fact that these characters are public domain now. They were out of public domain way longer than they should have been. Them dudes finessed, especially Mickey Mouse with Disney. Bro. These dudes pushed it like 70, 80, like almost a whole century of just people not being able to use Mickey Mouse. Like, that's insane. That's never been heard. Like, no one else has ever done that.
In Toy Story 3, well, you have like the monkey with the symbol, or the monkey which you go dong dong dong. That's a classic toy. But in the realm of filmmaking, that scene or that image of having a monkey play with the symbols like that, Disney decided to patent that image, and I'm just like, why? And now Disney owns that. Like, no movie could replicate that scenario in any type of movie or show.
That should not be a thing, bro.
Which I'm just like, how are you that greedy, realistically speaking, to take the symbolism that was used, and why is it allowed to make that happen? That makes no sense to me. That is very egregious. How do you do that? It's like claiming ownership is like, I just put out a song, blah, 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 but for whatever reason, this barely sounds like my song. I'm going to claim copyright on that. What? 2% of the song sounds like you, and you want to claim copyright for some BS?
But it's just like, I remember when LeBron James tried to trademark Taco Tuesday. Yeah, you remember? It's just like, that's what that sounds like to me. Like, yeah, all right, bro. Nice try.
Sticking with the whole childhood heroes to horror icons, the main question we're going to be asking ourselves is, how harmful is this to the newest generation that's coming in?
Not harmful.
Because I'm one of those people that say it's actually very harmful.
Okay, explain.
Because as a child, I did grow up with Winnie the Pooh. I did grow up. My niece grew up with Mickey Mouse. Peter Pan, I watched it. I used to watch that. I had it on VHS. These childhood heroes of mine are now essentially being depicted as murdering psychopaths. That is very harmful for this new generation. These are the stuff that we grew up with. We, as the predecessors of that new generation, we show children, nieces, nephews, all that good stuff. With the internet being so accessible nowadays, you take it as an example of, I'm showing my niece Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and all those episodes, and then all of a sudden she goes on YouTube and he's slicing somebody's throat in a movie. It's harmful and it's dangerous to show to those children because, like I said, the internet is so accessible nowadays that stuff like that and videos like that are so easily seen by the younger generation with like TikTok. I get movies all the time. When Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 came out, I got so many. So it's just, I think it is harmful to answer that question. I think it is, but I could be wrong.
I'm going to give an example. So when the first trailer dropped, right? Watch it, cool, whatever. Clocked in the next day to go to work. I opened, and there was a lovely coworker, lovely woman, a little bit crazy, but that's how I like my women. I showed her. We were just talking about like new movies coming out. I was like, oh yeah, you see the Winnie the Pooh, like the horror movie? She's like, horror movie? What are you talking about? Oh, let me show you. I showed her the trailer. I'm not gonna lie, this woman started crying.
That's crazy.
Granted, I was entertained. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm a jerk, but I don't care. At the same time, whether it's harmful or not, it's inevitable. And I only say that because it's already been done. No matter what content's out there, whether it's patented or not, public domain or not, there's always going to be some form of parody of it, any which way or form.
Man, you know what I mean? That one dude, what was his name? Meat Juice? What's his name? Meat Mountain. Meat Canyon. There you go.
Love it.
Yeah, nah. Talk about disturbing. I don't care what the Pooh verse got, bro.
Whether it's bad or not, I mean, realistically, there's worse things out there, in my opinion. And when it comes to it really being good or not, I'm very indifferent about it. Because at the end of the day, it is what it is. Whether we're like, us and our experience growing up with the internet, I know we've seen certain things we shouldn't have seen.
No,
It
100%.
happens. And it's dependent on the person, really, because everyone's going to react differently. There's a certain level of maturity that a person should develop where they could take themselves back, like away from it. You know what I mean? Because, like, obviously, a movie's a movie. Not every movie is supposed to be like, oh, this is legit. Because, there are people that will look at things and they'll be like, this is legit. Like, oh my God, this is a part of my childhood that's being, like, perverted. If you're offended by that, that's fine. That's probably what this whole idea is supposed to do. It's supposed to be shocking. To see Winnie the Pooh slaughtering people, no one would have expected. But it became a thing. And as Manny said, it had such a small budget, but it made so much money. Why? Because people
Shock
wanted to see
factor.
it.
No,
You
shock
do get the
factor.
shock factor out of it. But sometimes, most of this going into public domain isn't necessarily just horror. Because the best part about the whole Mickey Mouse style, as I do this little screen share real quick, blah, 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 blah.
Screen sharing, dog.
We are. This guy. This game.
Oh, yeah.
I am so hyped to play Mouse PI for Hire. Brother. This early black and white Mickey Mouse / Oswald Disney inspired aesthetic. It's a very refreshing take on a first person genre, Even though, yes, you're going through like a 3D world, but everything's presented in an animation style of 2D. It has layered grit to it, and there are certain ways to go about using these IPs that have now made into public domain to create something entirely like new and refreshing. Whether it's horror or if it's literally like a whole fun new way to play a game, such as Mouse PI for Hire. Like, I understand and I respect like intellectual property, like everyone has their like thing, but eventually, sometimes it is a blessing for it to land into public domain, because then certain IPs have become an inspiration for people. For me, for example, I'm a beloved Star Wars fan, and for the longest time, it was a dream to create a Star Wars movie, or at least in some way, shape, or form, to contribute to such a grand franchise. At the same time, I'm just a regular person. You also have celebrities that want to participate in such a thing. But at least things entering into public domain, you get the little guy, like me, that gets to put their own spin or take on such a thing that they have held beloved. If it's their own like story or spin-off within said universe or set IP, then, by all means do it. Sure, not everyone's going to like it. That's just the trade of the game. That's how the industry is. That's how the world is. There's going to be some people that be like, you know what? That's pretty cool. And if someone could say that's pretty cool, I'd say go for it.
I agree with everything Joseph said. When it comes to me, like, I really want to understand, like, what you mean by, like, a bad effect on kids. Like, what effect are you specifically talking about? Like, because if I'm being honest, there's people I know that show their kids, like, movies of people dying in the movies. But then they don't say that that's a bad thing. So why is it a bad thing to see the character that you love do that as a kid, right? It's just like, I understand what you're trying to say, but at the end of the day, like, should they hold that character to such a high standard that, like, it can't do no wrong? Like, isn't that a little weird?
I guess I'm more basing it off of the fact that these kids are younger audience. So I'm thinking like, like 2, 3, between the ages of 2 and 5. I guess I would put it that way. So I think for them to process that information, I guess that's where I lean towards. It could be a little like harmful to them. That's where I'm basing it. Because, like, to be honest, when you hit, let's just say 8 and 12, I'm just giving a baseline there. I think it's not as like, I can't say it's harmful anymore because of the way the world is nowadays.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, but the way the world, that's what I'm saying. The way the world is nowadays, that type of stuff is already like in their brains. It desensitized at that point. At least I was when I was younger, because I had a father who showed me Saw when I was like 3. I had seen those types of things, but it's different because those characters weren't like on my TV time when I was between the ages of 2 and 5. You know what I'm saying? Like those weren't they weren't there. Winnie the Pooh. It was Sesame Street. It was I'm trying to remember all the stuff I used to watch. It was SpongeBob. Like, it was stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I can only imagine what's going through the 2 to 5 year old's mind when they see, let's just say nowadays, when they see Bluey. Like, Bluey is eventually going to enter public domain, and then Bluey turns out to be a man-eating dog.
This is why I feel like there's like a
Guacamole.
weird balance you gotta find with your kids. You gotta like kind of remind them, because you don't want to take the childhood innocence from them, but you should tell them like, okay, yeah, but they're not real. Like I feel
Yeah.
like they can still enjoy it, but like I feel like kids sometimes get easily too sucked into the fact that they like the character, and like the parents feed into it too much to the point where like that's like everything they like, and like that's everything they're about, which is not a bad thing, I guess. But at a certain point, it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't.
It's too
Like-
it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, and in my opinion, if you're that age, you shouldn't be on the internet at all.
Bro,
Period.
the way the world works nowadays, bro, I be going into restaurants, and these kids be knowing how, like, this kid's like I said, between the ages of 2 and 5, man knows how to use the entire iPad, man knows how to use a laptop,
I
man knows how
mean,
to get to exactly the sites he wants to. He knows how to turn the parent controls off
Yep.
and turn them back on to make it look like he didn't do it. Like,
And that's why you don't give it to them. In my opinion. Kids are mad smart, bro. Like I've seen kids do things I'm just like, I don't even know how you figured out how to do that, because they pay so much more attention than we think. And the only way that you can really stop them, if you want them to use like a electronic or something like scroll on the internet, is like you have to put parent controls to the point where like you need a password for everything and you only know the password.
Certain kind of context is more like an inevitability. I understand the need to like push it as far as you can, but I think what should be done is more of the acknowledgement of it. You know what I mean? You can't necessarily
agree.
just avoid that.
I don't agree, because like we're talking about a specific time frame. That's why. If they get to like middle school or like near middle school, then that's when you're gonna have to like start acknowledging those things. But like when they're 3 or 4, like they don't need to know that stuff. It's like, are you gonna talk about sex with your 33-year-old child? I mean, it's inevitable they're gonna find it out, but they don't need to know that stuff yet. What?
That's a pretty specific example.
No, I mean, some schools like think that's the case, or some people think that's okay. Like I've seen it online. Like I've seen people that think that way. Like, oh, they're gonna find out eventually, so I'm gonna just teach them about all this stuff when they're 2 years old, 3 years old, when they barely ever understand what life is at all. I understand what you're saying, but like when it comes to a kid, like in my opinion, this is my opinion, obviously. When it comes to a kid, you need to control everything about their life, everything, because they cannot make any decisions on their own. If you leave them to their own devices, they're gonna 100% do something crazy that they should not be doing 100% of the time. Like, of course, like you shouldn't be like not let them fail at all. Like when it comes to like certain internet stuff, whatever, they're vulnerable to a lot of outside forces that they should not be exposed to, right? Such as online chatting. Online chatting is something they should not be doing until they get to like probably like maybe even high school. Because it's just like the kids, they don't like, they're smart, but they're not smart socially. They don't understand. They're naive. Like that's the responsibility as a parent to ensure that they understand those things, that the reason why you don't let them do those things is because that they're not ready for them yet. You're not ready to run a company until you know how to run a company, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, I would just say, because I kind of disagree in the notion of control, because there should be a balance between freedom and control. Because at the end of the day,
At 3 years
main
old?
thing, hear me out,
Go ahead.
like in general, raising a child in general, there's a balance between control and freedom, because at the end of the day, if you're controlling everything, you're not controlling the main thing, and that's the perception of everything. You can't really control their perception either which way. So that's why I say it's just not necessarily teach them, but to acknowledge, because acknowledge, like, yes, this is a thing, but you can learn that a little bit later in life. You know what I mean?
That's why I guess
100%.
my argument is more for the beginning age group. That's just me, because for me, like I said, turning these children, these childhood icons into horror phenomenons is crazy work. But I will be at the theater for Puniverse, Monsters Assemble.
Calling it that is crazy.
What do you mean? Hold on. Wait.
Just
What do you mean?
Hey, yo, this is really disturbing.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm looking at. Oh,
Bro,
is that Bambi?
Yeah, Pooh is writing Bambi.
Oh my goodness.
Interesting.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
we'll be
crazy.
there. So, do you think that these new horror icons are harmful to the new generation? Do you think that it is what it is, like Joseph says? Do you think it is, like Thanos, inevitable? I'm Manny.
Frank.
It be what it be. I'm Joseph.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, all the socials. Follow us on Discord. Join the conversation. Frank, what do we say?
Peace.